This is Gene Krebs.
Hi there. Oh. Whoop. Whoosh.
And we're high on Ohio.
TRAC stands for Transportation Review Advisory Council. It is primarily a body put in place way back in 1995-96 by the Voinovich administration.
I remember it quite well.
Which was being pilloried for all of these promised projects that were not coming to pass. And many of them were political promises. Governor Voinovich and the late Paul Misfit came up with this idea working with Gordon Proctor, who was then our statewide planning administrator and chief of staff and went on to become transportation director under the Taft administration, came up with this process by which a board would be appointed to vet large-scale projects with the assistance of able staff from the Department of Transportation, mostly planners and engineers and fiscal types. They would present to this board, these are the projects and these are how they're ranked in terms of all these heuristics, in terms of objective measurables. So that's how it started. There's a new set of politics, which unfortunately we are the brunt of, where people realize that TRAC is making these decisions. And then there's local campaigns.
Okay.
One recently being a few years ago, the Cincinnati streetcar campaign, which unfortunately got caught in the transition of administrations. And one administration was for it, the next administration was not. But kudos to the city of Cincinnati, they went forward with it anyway. I'm very pleased to share with you that TRAC, working with the Ohio Turnpike Infrastructure Commission, worked out a deal where we, rather than making, I think, the mistake that Indiana did in going with an outright lease of their toll road to a third party, which now is suing the state of Indiana after it collected all the tolls and raised tolls. We basically worked cooperatively with the Turnpike to leverage about $1 billion, which has already been applied to very important projects. You mentioned the fact that we have a huge system here in Ohio, and we do. You know, we have, like, if you own a big, beautiful old house, it takes a lot to maintain it. We have a big, beautiful old interstate system. And Ohio's a relatively small state. We have the, I think, the fourth largest inventory of interstate lane miles in the country, in Ohio. And you have these interstate systems that intersect and merge in metropolitan areas. Cleveland, Columbus, Cincinnati, Toledo, Dayton. Every major city has at least one interstate running through it. And these interstates are, you know, my age. You know, I just, you know, turned 60. And these interstates, most of those have reached that age. So these things have to be maintained. They have to be upgraded. And what we're looking at here is the first responsibility is to make sure that we take care of what we have. And that's been a priority of TRAC. You know, I've been on board since 2011, and what we're looking at is how do we improve what we have and make smart capacity improvements, smart mobility improvements where you can move more traffic through these important urban centers, and not end up with a giant interchange out in the middle of a farm field or an orphan lane on the interstate. When I was at District 6, one of our initiatives was reverse commute, working with the Mid-Ohio Regional Planning Commission. We hope to incentivize those activities by local transit companies here in Central Ohio, COTA, Central Ohio Transit Authority, where you actually add routes, you add buses to what I would call job centers. We were looking at that for Rickenbacker when it was hot. We looked at that in regards to Easton, a big retail center, and I think this is what needs to be done. It's going to have to be a decision that involves the City of Columbus, Franklin County Commissioners, and of course, COTA centrally. But I think that is what, and of course, Mid-Ohio Regional Planning Commission, which already has been pushing. It pushed through Bill Habig, and then with Chester Jordan, and now with William Murdoch. We're looking at an experienced group of transportation professionals who can help COTA and those employers put together a plan that adds those routes that allow people in urban centers to get out to where the good jobs are.
Yeah.
Judgment Day is coming for the policymakers and legislators because it's going to have to be addressed.
Yeah.
It's going to be, as soon as you have that federal transportation bill, say, well, we're not going to have a federal transportation bill because we don't have any money to put in the transportation bill.
Yeah.
I think that's when it will hit home. We are, as Ohioans, we're tough, and we're resilient, and we're clever. We come up with good ideas to do a lot. When you look at what Ohioans have done over the last 10 years, we have taken care of our system without a lot of money from D.C. We flatline in terms of the money that we get from the federal government. In fact, we're spending more money that's generated by the state, either through public-private partnership financing, the leveraging of turnpike assets, than we're getting out of the federal transportation bill. So I think it will require courage, political will to perhaps advance toward those new transportation system funding sources ahead of what Washington does. I suspect that it's going to be done in the states before it's done in Washington.
For more about the Center for Community Solutions or their publications, please visit www.communitysolutions.com.